Welcome back to The Real Story. Fallout now from the Supreme Court decision upholding the ban on affirmative action in the state of Michigan. The High Court voting 6-2, ruling states can get rid of race-based preferences for college admissions without violating the Constitution. But today, Attorney General Eric Holder is calling the dissent by Justice Sotomayor courageous, saying this country still has a long way to go.
It may be tempting for some when they look at the accomplished professionals in this room, or the lawyer who works in the Oval Office, or consider the fact that I have the privilege of serving as the Attorney General of the United States, to feel that this country's long struggle to overcome disparity and discrimination has ended.
Well, Michigan joins 7 other states now that have ended affirmative action or preferential treatment based on race at public colleges. Time to debate this now. Chris Plant is a radio talk show host. Leslie Marshall is a syndicated radio host and Fox News contributor. Great to see you both. All right, is this going to change affirmative action forever, Leslie?
I think it's going to chip away at it, and I think it's very sad. I'm nervous as a woman, Gretchen, if we have a female president someday, what that does for equal opportunity that we don't yet have as females. Because we have one black president in the hundreds of years that we've been in existence as a nation, we have a Hispanic on the Supreme Court, an African-American attorney general. That doesn't mean that every barrier and obstacle to the opportunities for minorities in this country, in education in Michigan and throughout the United States, goes away. That's absolutely false.
But Leslie, I think it's a little bit apples and oranges with that particular explanation, because it's my understanding with this ruling, Chris, that universities still can use this as a reason why they do admit people. I mean, they can say, look, this is the diverse body that we want to have at this institution, right?
Right, as a factor that may be considered when admitting students. And look, this is a tricky issue. It's a very complicated issue. I think every reasonable person would admit that. The case was, of course, focused on whether a court, a lower court, had the authority to overturn a ballot initiative that was in 2006 on the Michigan ballot, and the people of Michigan voted in favor of it, and I think the court ruled correctly in that regard. The question of affirmative action is a much more complicated question. And the standard is not whether you've had one black president and there's a black member of the Supreme Court, two, by the way. That's not actually the standard. The question regarding affirmative action is whether you discriminate against one group of people based on their race in order to accommodate another group of people based on their race. And, Chief Justice John Roberts crystallized it pretty well, and I'll have to paraphrase him a little bit. The way you stop discriminating on race is by no longer discriminating based on race.
Well, and Sotomayor very much disagreed with that in the dissent. But Leslie, I mean, what do you make of what Chris is saying? That there were people on the other side of the fence of a different race, maybe Caucasian, who were saying, well, look, we're smart, we have a 4.0, but we're not getting into these institutions as a result of affirmative action.
Well, we have certainly seen Justice Thomas, who's an African-American, make what I, as a liberal, refer to as a conservative decision. The passion that Justice Sotomayor showed with a 58-page written and 12-minute verbal speech, I think is very telling. The concern is that although this is Michigan, and although you're absolutely right, Chris, with regard to the specificity of this ruling, that this is where we are headed. And also, why isn't it addressed that a university can give preferential treatment? I mean, if you're a Kennedy at Harvard, for example, or a Bush or a Clinton at Yale, or if somebody writes a large check, or if they need you for a certain sport to beef up their team. Well, this is a problem that's not addressed.
And those are all great.
Sotomayor did speak of.
Those are all great points, and that will be probably a debate sometime down the road. Got to wrap it there. Great to see the both of you.
Thanks, Gretchen.
And now.